Hi, I'm Ali Reza, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can integrate your workflow in n8n with Telegram. And with Telegram we are able not only to connect to your workflow and get the input information, also we can also connect the output information to Telegram. So it can play like a chatbot, a real chatbot, and your agent can work behind the scene inside n8n, and you can use Telegram to communicate with your n8n workflow. This is very simple and it's free because Telegram is free and it's very easy to set up. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's first start with creating one agent without Telegram. And if you already set up your n8n account, the cloud account, then you probably see this page with no information like this one. You can also see this information on top of my page, which shows about the inside of the current executions of the workflows I have. First thing first, you need to click on create workflow here. And then after that, when you get to the canvas, this is the canvas where you design your automations, workflow items, and all of interesting things happen here. So basically we need to start from scratch. We add different nodes to the canvas and then we connect nodes to each other. It's very simple and it's always start with the trigger. So as I said, you're not going to use Telegram yet. So we're going to start from scratch, but with the simple agent. With the simple agent, we're going to use the chat trigger on chat message, which is going to add the chat box here, which is going to make it easier to test the workflow. So I assume maybe many of you that watch this video, probably it's the first time to create this workflow. So I'm going to be a little bit going to some of the details. So if you're familiar with the concept, you can skip and go to the next chapter from the description. So when we add the chat message here, as you can see, we can click on the plus on the node on the right side of the node and then add the next node. In this case, the next node is the AI agent. So we add the AI agent. And now, as you can see, when we click on the new node, the new screen pops up here, and it's quite interesting because on the left side, there is an input side. On the center, there are some information about the node, configurations, parameters, also links to docs, also a button to execute the step. And on the right side, you can see the output, and the output, it also shows to you what's going on with the node and what is the result. So it's very easy to check every node, what is input, what are the configurations in the middle, and what is going to happen in the output. So what we need to do here, we need to configure the AI agent. As you can see, there are some connectors here, chat model, memory, tool. So I'm going to explain a little bit about each of them in a second, but we start with chat model. So chat model means that the AI model you want to connect to your AI agent. We have lots of options, as you can see here: Olama, Google, Azure OpenAI, DeepSeek, etc. So I'm going to use OpenAI model, and from the OpenAI model I'm going to use GPT-4o. As you can see, there are a lot of models are available, but if you write in 4o, you can find the model, but in your site you can choose any model and try it out. So now we connected model, and I think now we have AI agent configured. So you don't need to add the memory and tool yet. We're going to test it, and then after that we add the memory also here. So let me just put it in the center. In order to test agent, when we had chat message and node here, you can see this button here, open chat. You can click on the open chat, and it's interesting because you can see it here, and then it's very nice to test workflow and see the result immediately. So I'm gonna save my workflow, and before saving the workflow, one most important thing is to name your workflow properly. So I'm gonna put this name, AI agent with Telegram, because I have lots of AI agents and I don't want to get confused with other agents I have. So now I saved it and I can actually test it. I can say hi, and then as you can see, the moment I press enter here, the workflow started to run. It processed my input, and also it passed the information to model, and then it got answer. So let's have a look to the AI agent to see what happened here. You remember I told you we have the input section, and the input section, you can see the input information, what is provided from the input. And then here we have the configurations, and on the right side we can see the output, which is generated by the AI agent, any node here. And in this case, it is the AI agent. So why this is important? Because it helps you a lot to trace and troubleshoot your workflow, and you can easily use this feature to understand what's going on in your workflow. You can also see that here that you can switch to a schema, to table, to JSON. So with this way, you can easily switch between different types of information. In different type of workflows, we might actually use the different type of this format. And it's quite interesting to have this option available inside n8n. So now let's go back to our testing part. So I can say, can you give me some tips on n8n workflows? So I'm really curious to see what kind of tips it gives me. Okay, I got a lot of information here. It started with the n8n is a powerful tool for creating workflow. And then after that, as you can see, there are some information about the optimization, data management, environment, etc. So it's quite interesting to see. The other thing is quite interesting. It's about this panel, because in this panel, you can see the flow of the information. For example, when you ask any questions from the agent, you can see the steps are taken here by agent to give you answer. Of course, this agent is very simple here. But in the future workflows that you're creating, you probably have more complex workflows, and then you can easily see the steps are taken here. If you enjoyed the tutorial so far, I highly recommend to subscribe to this channel to see the other tutorials which is coming very soon. I also created a lot of other tutorials regarding n8n, so you can learn a lot of information about the other types of integration and automation you might expect from n8n. The difference between my tutorials and other tutorials is that I'm trying to help you to become a creator and designer. As an architect, I'm trying to give you more insight about the design and how you can design your workflows based on your business requirement in your side. There's also something else. I have a school community that you can join, and there are lots of AI practitioners that seriously focus on the AI automation. So there you also have a direct access to my support, and I can really help you with more time on your actually journey, not only for the workflow automation, also how to become a new AI expert for the future. Okay, let's continue this tutorial. We didn't configure the memory here, and now we can test it out how it goes without memory. I can ask, do you remember my previous question? As you can see, even though we can see it in this window, but the AI agent does not have access to this information in a way to give us answer on this. So basically it says I'm unable to remember past interactions. So basically this AI agent is not able to remember what happened in the previous question, in the previous session we had with this agent. In order to fix this issue, we can connect a simple memory, or you can connect it to different types of databases as a memory, but in this case, we can easily add the memory. What you need to configure in this node is to define how many past interactions you want to actually keep with your AI agent. In this case, it's 5, which is fine. I can just leave it like that. So on this part, the tooling part, you can connect to so many options, and you can connect it to the MCP, you can connect it to the vector database. You can connect it to so many different APIs and different tools to actually empower your AI agent to do different types of action. So now we have the simple memory here. Let's try it out. I'm gonna give my name to the AI agent, and then after that I will ask again from the agent to see if it remembers my name. So now I gave my name to the agent, so agent knows my name. So let's try it out again to ask the same question. So I asked the question, and now as you can see, because we added simple memory or chatbot memory, and now it remembers my name and it answered correctly to my question. So now we tested out our AI agent. This is the very simple AI agent that you can easily create with n8n on the cloud version and using any models you like. And now we can jump into the Telegram integration, which is quite cool. And for that, you need to install Telegram on your mobile. And as you know, Telegram is free. It's like WhatsApp and other kind of mobile applications that you can use to chat, to video call, to voice call. But the good thing about the Telegram is that it's free. It's also very easy to set up the integration between Telegram and other automation tools, which means you can easily connect your workflow to Telegram, and then Telegram can act for you like an agent that is connected to the workflow, which makes it quite cool that any workflow you create, you can connect it to Telegram to provide the input and get your result. So prerequisite is that just install Telegram on your mobile. It doesn't matter if you have iPhone or Android. Telegram is available in all of them. Once you install Telegram on your mobile, then you can install Telegram Windows application, and then it's really easier to work with Telegram while you are creating the workflows. Then you don't have to use your mobile at that time. So with that assumption, let's continue working with this workflow and adding Telegram. Now, I added Telegram window to this screen, so it's really easier also to work together with workflow and also the Telegram. Then I don't have to switch back and forth into different windows. Let's continue with that. The first thing probably we need to do is to get rid of this trigger, because we want to continue with the Telegram. And for that, we need to click on add and search for Telegram. When you click on Telegram here, you also see a lot of triggers we have, and the trigger we want is on message, because we want to get information from user, and then from that we are able to configure. For that, as you can see, we need to create a new credential. I tested before, so that's why I have some accounts ready with the other bots in other Telegram account, but this one that you can see is completely from scratch. So I click on the create a new credentials. The only thing you need here is the access token, and to get the access token you need to create a new bot in Telegram. Let's click on the new message on Telegram and ask for maybe bot father. I think it's the one we need to search. Yes. Bot father is from Telegram. It's a bot that helps you to create a new bot in Telegram. And let's do that, and we can create a new bot account. As you can see, when you start chatting with the bot father, you can see the lots of commands that you can use to create a new bot, to edit the bot, see the settings and different things. So now what we can do, we can start with a slash and create a new bot. And the first thing it has is that what is the name of the new bot. Let's add the new name. For example, I will call it Matrix AI Agent Bot, just for sake of having a kind of available name for the bot. And you can also put any names you like, but you have to finish your bot with the underscore bot. And now I got the information here. It says now let's choose the username for your bot. So that name was available, and okay, let's choose any username. So I will choose the username Matrix Agent, and oh, it says it's invalid. Okay, let me just put the same username as the name of the bot. Okay, it's done. Now I was able to create a username. Yeah, but in your side, please try to find the proper username and name for your bot, just to make sure that you have done it properly. Now, the moment it's this configuration is done, the interesting thing is immediately you get the token. So you can use the token here and then paste it here. And once we did that, we can save it here, and let's call it Telegram account matrix. I will put just matrix here. I know that it's connected to this bot. Okay, when I test it here, I should get the successful connection, which I got. Actually, it's really nice. I can continue here. So this is the interesting part. Now we need to continue this. Let's do something. Also, we need to go inside this bot. The bot is already created. If you click on this one, you can actually go inside the bot and then start chatting with the bot. So now we want to execute this step, but before that, I want to connect it to the AI agent. So in order to make sure that we can configure the Telegram bot and connect it to the AI agent, first I want to execute the step here just to pull the event from Telegram. So as you can see, we got some information from the bot, and this information is interesting because then we can actually connect it to the AI agent. Now, next step is to go to the AI agent, and here, as you can see, we need to configure this part, the chat input. This is configured already for the other node that we saw earlier. So this is not going to work with the Telegram. So now we need to change it to the define below. And here we can actually add the chat message here. The chat message here, we can find it here, the text. So this is the json.message.text. As you can see, I put the start here, and here you can see the same. And that should be fine. Now what we need to do, we need to also make sure that we get the result also to Telegram, right? So let's try that here. We can add the Telegram node here, and for that one we need to find the node that we send the message. So let's find that actually action. This is a send a text message action, and that's exactly what we want. What is missing here is the chat ID and chat text. In order to do that, probably we need to execute the previous node, but it doesn't work because we still didn't actually process this part properly. So let's just run this one, and it says the simple memory has some issues. Let me just disconnect this one, execute this step. So now we got this one and output from the agent. Let's connect it to the output node from the agent. Here what we need to do, we can configure the chat ID and the chat text. What is important here to understand is that we need to configure it in such a way that it goes to the same chat ID from the Telegram bot that we connected. So the chat ID, you can find it here. Every time you get any information from the Telegram, the chat ID is also passed to the n8n. So we can drag the chat ID here. And for the text, also the text is the text we got from the AI agent. So we can actually put the output text here. So now we are done. If I execute this step, I should get the information here. Before that, do not forget that the account should be, the credentials should be your actually a specific credential for the specific chatbot that you are connecting to. And as I said, I had several of them, but now for this particular tutorial, I created a new one and I called it matrix. Okay, now if I click on the execute step, what I'm expecting is to see the result on the Telegram. Nice. As you can see, I saw it here. I also got notification from Windows. So basically now it's working. Let's also connect simple memory. Let me just connect it again. And yeah, this says the session key from the previous node, the session ID. Now we do not have a session ID, but probably we can change it to the message ID, I think, and it should actually work. So let's test it now. Before testing it, first make sure to save it, and then now we need to activate our actually workflow. So now we activate the workflow. Okay, let me just hide out all of these things. Now let's give it a try and see if it works. Now I say hi. Okay, I got a response back from the workflow, and then I ask the same question. Can you give me some, can you give me some tips on Telegram integration with n8n? Okay, I asked a question about the Telegram integration with n8n. I got quite a long answer from the OpenAI. So it actually gave me quite interesting information about how to set it up and some information about the handling updates, commands, and etc. So it's working. It's really nice. And one more thing I would like to tell you is about how you can trace the executions that you have in the workflow. Go up. So as you can see, I asked some tips about the Telegram integration, right? So if you go to the execution here, you can see the past execution. And as you can see, when you click on that, you can actually see what happened in the workflow. Everything is green, which means everything was successful. If I click on the AI agent, I can see here my question, exactly the same I ask. I also see that here the answer I got from the model, so I can switch to the table or JSON, and I can also copy the answer from here if I need to process it. So this way it gives you a lot of insight about what's going on, and if for some reason the workflow failed, like for example this one, you can click on that and you can see the part of the workflow, for example, had some issues, and then you can see the errors and you can try to troubleshoot and fix the issue. So now we can come back to the editor. I think with this tutorial you learned how to connect to Telegram, to connect it to your workflow. This was a base tutorial to use in many other tutorials I'm going to create in the future, because in many of them probably I'm going to use Telegram either to test the workflow or maybe to notify myself about what's going on in any workflows I created. I hope this was useful for you, and see you in the next video.